That's those lights. So yes, I hear my voice. Okay, hi again to everybody. So I'm still Geoffrey Margraf, product owner of the human resource application, and I've got a guest star with Quentin, which was unexpected, but always a pleasure to have with me. And here is the link to the pad. So we have got a little Ask Me Anything session. If you've got some question that we haven't answered before, that you hadn't time to go to the booth, don't hesitate. And we've got like a big 20 minutes to answer them. So we see the pad. You have the link, and we will answer.
Also during the previous presentation, we got some questions that were unanswered. So maybe if we don't have enough questions here, we can check also the other one.
Yep. You have the link?
Yes, I have it here. You want me to? Ah, yeah, I can. So it's normal pad / at the end payroll 23. Uh, 23, not 2023. Only 23.
Ah, okay.
And there you go.
Okay, we will start with the question from the previous talk, and you have time to complete with your own. Can we configure payroll to pay an employee based on goods produced by them in a month? Yes, it's a use case that I heard mostly in Indian countries. At the moment, no. At the moment, you can only be based on a monthly basis or on an hourly basis with various sources. The goods produced is something that we didn't plan to use yet, but again, due to the feedback, we can change our way of working. And I think that mainly we need to listen to we need to analyze that, because it's not only paying by piece, but we need to link with MRP and all the inventory and production application that we have in order to have the right bridge.
Yeah.
So why not? We have everything in hand, so why not?
Maybe it would be interesting to also specify, if you're still in the room, and give us a bit more context directly.
Can we create payslip based on the employee timesheet? I think you answered that.
We answered that one already, yes.
Okay. But pick one that is not answered. I was not there on the previous talk.
This one we already did answer. Yeah, this one we didn't quite understand well. So why did you remove salary rules heritage between them?
I think it was in a previous version of the payroll. In total honesty, before I joined Odoo, I think it should. If you have time to come to the booth, we have the main developer of the payroll solution, which is Yannick. You can ask for Yannick, and he's the one behind the old version, and he will answer you correctly. I think it's just a matter of performance and usability, and I know that with changing that, we lost some of the processes, some of the business case, but we gain a lot more. So it was the best choice between the two. But he will be the perfect man to answer that.
But and probably, Geoffrey, indeed, what is also important behind the question is also explaining us why of the question, because maybe there is already another solution that is possible to handle your use case, so don't hesitate to specify.
I don't know how it was working before, so it's difficult to answer, but indeed. Explain us your business case later on, and we will see how to answer it with that.
Maybe go back to
this one?
Yeah, I'll go back to this one just to check.
So on all ones, is it possible to manage a training plan in Odoo? The employee did the training on that day, yes, another planet in a month. At the moment, you can link with e-learning and profit from all the feature of e-learning. From the employee at itself, you can manage a certification. You can, let's say, use the certification, because with the certification you will have a validity date, and the validity date will show up in the report. So we don't have something like a plan. You can manage goals. You can set goals in the appraisal application with a deadline. And as long as you have a deadline on the model, you can play with automation. So it's maybe not the way you see it, but there are workarounds.
Also, why not, if you're a bit inventive and it's okay for you, why not using the event application to
Yeah,
handle that kind of request?
I think there are some ways of covering it.
Mhm.
Really needs what is your business needs and how you want to manage that. How will the solution integrate AI in the future? I don't know if you were in the keynote, so now we can use the /chat in every HTML field. So it means that if you create a job description for the recruitment app and you want to say, okay, I want, what are the main features, what are the main prerequisites, you can already use the HTML editor to have a ChatGPT invite and ask a question to insert the result. When we talk about AI in recruitment, it's mainly when we talk about the OCR. So we worked on the skills like we said before, and we plan to go maybe further, but the more further we go, the more complicated it will be. And we need to know that since a lot of years we are training the OCR on the bills to recognize the customer, to recognize the product, and it's already complicated. So in HR, and I was having that discussion with someone at the booth, even the resume are starting to becoming more, how can I say that, with picture, with smileys, with video. So all the stuff are evolving, and it will be difficult that an AI will understand everything. We will try, and we will try to find, it's not, the best thing is not to say we just use AI, but to really see, okay, where is the added value? So in text generation it's okay, but we have to look into the future and see, and what they are able to do now, they can do so much better in the future. So I think it will be a race between them and us to see where we can go. So the answer is not a no, it's not that we don't want to integrate them, but we are still looking for the best way to do it.
Is it possible to mass upload employee documents related to each employee? How is that done in Odoo? Do you want to answer that one, or?
I'm letting it to you.
Okay, so I think there are indeed some possibilities. We've got the smart button document on the employee profile, which basically leads me to the documents application, and from there I can mass upload documents, but you could see it also the other way around, and uploading all your files directly into the documents application, and then make sure from the list view you actually set the owner of that document with the mass editing feature of Odoo. So I think it's a yes. And next one maybe.
Is it possible to manage shifts?
How is that done in Odoo? I think we've answered the question already, if it's not more than that, but we've got the planning application, we've got the integration with work entries as well, so I think if that's the question, yes.
There is a dedicated application with the planning, which is linked to the employee from the employee model from view. You've got the smart button that will link you to his schedule, and that's how we do it. You can have some reporting, so we have to see what we mean with shifts. Maybe it's something about the working entries like we had on the talk before, but the planning can send this information to the working entries, so everything is integrated. If it's a more complicated business need or something else that you expect, feel free to tell us. Can you set a start and end time on a time entry? Connect to timesheets. Timesheet, I don't know timesheets.
So let me read the question. I don't want to say what to use. See the possibility in timesheet module or any other module that is connected to timesheets. Okay, so here I guess what you would like to have is to know exactly when the time was performed, and indeed in the timesheet application, when you enter the time, you say I've worked 2 hours, I've worked half an hour, but you don't say I have worked from 9:30 till 10. And so I think this is the question. So in the timesheet application, it's not possible. What's possible is to timesheet by day. So in this case, you can do half days and full days. On the other hand, I don't know if it answers the question, or if you have a particular use case you would like to solve for that question. Don't hesitate to specify maybe.
which is the best HR tool that you suggest to must-use modules feature of Odoo for a small company? This one is nice. Well, I would say that you have always the soft HR and the hard HR. If you are a small company, forget about recruitment. It's not your core business and you don't need to go that far. I would say stay with the employee application, which is the heart of the process of all the flows. And with the employee application, you will already have the skills management, you will have the documents, you will have maybe the e-sign if you have the sign module, you will have the charter, the activity. So you have a system of plans, so you can plan a lot of activities and start it when you want on the employee. So it's the main one. And from the from the employee, there will be two that I will suggest. The first one is appraisal, because even if you have 2 or 3 employees, it's good to have something automated to create appraisal, to give you that good behavior to ask for feedbacks. And the other one naturally is time off. Time off, because even if you have 2 people, 3 people in company, they need to take holidays, and it's good to have something really structured to know how many days I have. And I'm sure that if you are a small HR and you have, let's say, 4 or 5 people, most of the time the question that you will have is, can I take an holiday? Can you create me an holiday? How much holiday do I have? Oh, I was wrong creating my holiday, can you change it? Time off is really a good answer and a good start. When you have, I would say, even time off before appraisal. So employee time off is the first, then appraisal, and then if you want to go further, it's really suited to your business needs. Maybe it's some attendance because you want to track time, because there are some small apps that we don't talk about, but we've got lunch if you need to order food, we've got fleet if you need to manage your vehicles, and it's really up to you. But the two first, even for a small company, will be employee and time off.
Mm-hmm. But I think also it depends on your business, because there is one business, and you did a talk yesterday about it. And for this kind of business, even if they are very small, we strongly recommend to also use the recruitment application.
Yeah, if you are a talent agency, indeed, naturally you will use recruitment. But in that case, it's more your core business than your HR stuff.
Yeah.
Accrual plan, 25 times of day per year in advance. Okay. Employee leaves the company. How can I deduct the unit time of days so that it's 0 without archiving? When the employee is leaving the company, you must archive the employee, so we are not talking about time of days. And automatically the allocation will be, the validity date of the allocation will be set to the date of the end of this work. So it's not that you don't have to solve these days. In fact, it totally depends of your country, it totally depends of the way you are managing it. In Belgium, if the employee is leaving and he still have 10 days, if it's 10 paid time off, you need to send some money to the next employer, so there are all processes. So it's hard to answer like this, because it's totally up to the country, and it's not the same if the employee is fired or if he leaves. So it's really hard to answer like this, but we will be happy to answer behind the scene, let's say. I will take the 2 and let you the third one, the most difficult. For a recruitment agency, like we say a headhunter, do we have any function to automatically match the candidates with the jobs? Not yet. And I plan to make it very fast, because the blocking point was the fact that working with the skills before the OCR and before the work that we done was really complicated. There was nothing. If you got a lot of applicants, you had to encode every skill on every applicant. It's too much of a time consuming, so it was not possible. Now that we automatize it with the OCR, it opens a brand new lot of possibilities, and I hope that we can do something really easy, which is tagging some skills on the job description. You already have the skills on the applicant, and you can make like a populate function, and it will suggest you the right applicants that you have in your pool. It's not there yet, it's not planned yet, but it's totally on my roadmap. And the other is something that I already answered a lot today, but is there a LinkedIn integration coming? Again, I hope. The fact is that LinkedIn and Indeed and Glassdoor and ICT Recruiter and all those job boards, you need to be a technological partner to work with them. And in fact, there is no wonder. You need to ask them, and they have to agree to give you the key to open the door. And when you open the door to API, you can do what you want. But at the moment, we only started all those discussions, and we just expect and wait for them to answer yes. And when it will be done, we will release and open all the flows. So yes, it will come. I hope.
I think also in addition to that, like we said this earlier this afternoon, you've got the possibility already to use trackers. Also maybe encourage your people to use the referral application, for instance, and post all your jobs on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, it's on the roadmap, and there are some workarounds here and there that you can use. So while it's not there yet, use the workarounds. And this one is for me.
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain the deduct hours function in Odoo 16? Actually, we still have got in version 17. You are referring to two main things. First of all, on the time of types, you can decide to say if you want to be able to deduct the hours. How do you basically get hours? It's by using the attendance application. So if you do extra hours, it means that you have some extra hours that you will be able to reuse. And so the deduct extra hours button that you see on the employee is basically there for you to be able to ask in the system, I want to make sure that these overtime hours are compensated with any allocation of a time off. And so I can say, okay, these 8 hours I've got in extra hours, I will deduct them with the allocation type compensatory hours, for instance. And so it will create the allocation, and you will be able to validate the allocation, and in the end the employee gets this compensation. I think that's it for the deduct extra hours. There is another way to use this. If you want to automate the process on your time of type, you also select the box. And in this case, instead of having the employee to ask for an allocation and ask to deduct the hours, they will get the hours right away, because if you don't set any validation, any allocation, if you say, I don't need an allocation for this kind of time off, where you set the checkbox deduct extra hours, it will be automatically given to the employee to be able to use it.
Okay, we have got still 6 minutes and 6 questions. I will try to be quick and fast. With the PC, so the parliamentary committees, I'm not sure we say it like that, but I understand. With specific regulation, which PC are available in Belgium? It's easy, only one. CP200, because we use it. Is it easy to configure Odoo for a specific PC? I would say that it totally depends of the PC, and it depends of the difference between the 200 and this one. If you have something which is not that specific, but you just have some regulation, and let's say that the withholding taxes is just computed differently, it's a rule that we change, it's easy. If you have on something where you have various time overtime on the weekend, on the night between the Saturday and Sunday, and that we need to add mechanics, it will be a way more complicated case. It's not that we don't want to do this, it's just that we are lacking the knowledge, so we need already feedbacks to say, in my area it was like this and this, and you should do this and this, and maybe we can come to a success together. But at the moment we are just waiting for Intel, because it's not that a lot of work, it's just that we don't know where to start. We've got another question. How does the holiday overview for customer on HR look like? In the time off application, you've got indeed an overview menu, and it shows you as it's a menu that everyone have, even if you don't have any time off rights, and it's specific for that. When you click on it, you will come on a gain view, and on that view you will have a first filter on my team. We assume that when you come to that view, the first information that you ask is, in my team, with the people I work, who is off today, tomorrow, the next week. It's based on 1 month. And the only stuff that we made is that it's anonymous in the time of type sense. So let's say I'm working with Thomas, Jean and Pierre, and they all take time off during the month. I will see the 3 lines, I will see the days, but I won't know what kind of time off. So maybe Thomas is sick and went to the hospital, maybe Pierre is on a paid time off, maybe Jean is unpaid time off. I don't need to know that. As a simple employee, I just need to know that he's not there. And if I am at HR with time of rights, in that case I will see the time of type. Can a mass import with info of all kind of holidays be done? I assume yes.
Yes, it's feasible. You have to know how to do it, of course, but Odoo supports standard CSV and XLS to import files. Now you've got to just select the correct fields in order to update your, is it allocations or time offs that? Well, both are feasible. You will have first maybe to import the allocations and then the time off. If you have a specific time of type that requires an allocation first. But it's totally feasible, yes.
Next one is, can you have a holiday cascade including several types of holidays? If I understand well, the idea is that I'm using a time off. I want to take 10 days of holiday on Christmas. If I don't have the 10 days available on my first time of type, it will fall back on the second and on the third. Mm-hmm. It's not automatically possible. You will see when you select your time of type, you will see each day that you have available in every categories, but the system won't automatically populate from one to another because it's complicated again to know which one is prior to another. Even on the paid time off, we can say in Belgium we say paid time off, but maybe in another country it's another name. So not automatically create a cascade.
Mm-hmm. But we've got a sequence on the time of type, so even if it's not fully automatic, maybe we can play with that a little bit.
Yeah, you can still say one after the other, but you can. Mm-hmm. It won't do it automatically for you.
No, that's for sure. But what I suggest most of the time for this use case is indeed to make sure that, for instance, you have to take the legal days first. So make sure that they are the first in the list, and your extra legal days come right after in the list.
Yep. Can you specify time limits to take specific holiday days? Yes, so in that case the answer is really generic. For every allocation that you make, you can put a start date and an end date on the validity. So it means that, let's say again, I think it's the 11th of November, it's going on a Saturday this month. Mm-hmm. So for example, our time off officer, they give us one day that we can use when we want, but we've got a validity. It's between the 1st of December and the 31st of December. So you can shorten the validity as much as you want and customize it. And every day that you will give is a different allocation with a different validity date.
How many questions we got?
Still one.
Still one? We have 1 minute left. So
no, totally on time. But I don't totally get it. Are there advantages you foresee in having a unified data ecosystem between recruitment platforms and payroll systems? I would say that yes, the more centralized we are, the better it is. We are working for the best ERP in the world, so what we want to make is everything included. So the payroll system, we want as much as possible do it in-house, and the recruitment we will try to externalize it just by posting on job boards. But still, the most intricate, the most all the data together, it's always an added value. So I think that we need to work. The person who write that just come after, and we had a talk to see what you exactly mean. But I'm sure it's a yes.
Yeah, for me, how I understand is what is the power of having a recruitment solution that is also integrated with the payroll system. And we've shown that during all the afternoon. It's the fact that, for instance, with skills or working schedule, everything you encode at one place in the system is already available for the next step. So you're gonna win a lot of time, I guess, by using a unified solution over separate systems.
And we are closing there. We are letting the stage to Pierre and Victoria to show you a lot of our HR application during the next hour. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.